Thanks, Matt. We all know that the position that we're in our teams, we carry a lot of pressure. Day in and day out, we're usually the ones that eat last. We provide everything for our team members because, essentially we are here to support a bunch of families. I look at myself, I'm supporting 44 families. And we all go through the challenges of changing markets, disruption in the industry, and all that stuff. And it's really hard for us to take the foot off the gas and, cut back on spending. I'll say myself, there's many months that I spend way more than what I ever imagined that I would earn in a year. And some of you guys may also experience seasonalities in your marketplace. Well, most of us don't let the foot off the gas. We have the foot on the gas, and there's a lot of pressure. So a few years ago, I went through some personal challenges, and I also had about 80% of my team leave over a 12-month period. And I reached out to a friend of mine, some of you guys may know him, Terry Peranich, up in Edmonton. Kind of, spilled the beans to him, what I was going through. And he's like, bro, hold on. I got to call somebody and see if they can take you on. This guy saved my life, is what he said. So next thing you know, I get connected with Jon Cheplak. And this guy has changed my life personally. And he's also changed my business. We have now an incredible culture, and everything is in rhythm where it flows really nicely. Sure, we have our ups and downs, but I think as a leader, what I have done is also done work on myself, where I'm better equipped to handle the pressure. And we all have emotions. We all ride the roller coaster, but it's how do we respond to it and not let our emotions get the better of us where we behave in a self-destructive behavior. Some of us may resort to stuff to kind of mask that pain or whatever it is, but if you're willing to do the work on yourself to be a better leader, so you can serve your agents and serve your clients at a much higher level, I think that, you got to put in the work. And there's nobody better in my experience than Jon Cheplak. And, it's an honor to introduce him to this group. And obviously, it's very, very unfortunate what happened here last year. And, to each and every one of you guys as well, if you're ever in a tough spot, please reach out. We're all here for each other. We can all relate to the challenges that we're faced with each and every day. So if you're ever in a tough spot, please pick up the phone. We're all here for each other. So I don't know if you want to introduce him.
No.
Jon Cheplak, come on in.
Thank you. I'm pretty intense, but with that intensity I found the intensity and leadership and doing this work was in my heart. And that's the one place that leaders have to go to if they want to. It's moving from your head to your heart. The first thing I want to do is I want to acknowledge the reason I'm here. And it's not because of me. It's not because of what I've done. I've hung out for 31 years in the real estate business, and people like you have been very generous. And those are leaders, and that's really your responsibility if you look at leadership. Our responsibility is to replace ourselves on a daily basis. That's it. Simple. And we can't do that partially, just in business. Because if you look at how human beings perform, the heart chooses, the mind justifies. But we lead with logic, and the mind gets in the way. And I'm a product of that, because in my last real job, I don't come from theory. I was a general manager for Prudential, California, Nevada, Texas. I was important. Just ask me. And 10 years ago, it'll be 11 years in July, I spent my 9th time in rehab, from 21 to 41. But see, the high performance was a mask. And interestingly enough, that last week, I was in and out of the emergency room 3 times for alcohol withdrawals. I never did heroin. You can't die from heroin withdrawals. You can die from alcohol withdrawals. They're called DTs. And you know what I would do when I would leave the hospital and they'd bring me down? Guess where I went? The bar. The bar. Because I was so in here. And it was the greatest thing that ever happened. You know, the greatest thing that ever happened was that pain that I was in. It was all the things, and the fortunate things, I've been exposed to great leaders that had shared with me these things. My mentor said to me, John, there's nothing going on, and write this down. There's nothing going on privately that won't show up publicly eventually. The number one return on investment you will ever get as a leader is the investment in your personal self-development. Everything that's going on outside of you, inside your organization, but outside of your person, is a reflection of you. Period. 100%. And the journey isn't to trying to get someone to do another deal. The journey is trying to get someone to, why don't you do what you want to do, need to do, should do, know how to do? And that's the mystery. That's the mystery. So it's, 10, it'll be 11 years in July. Clean 100%. And I say this with sincerity. I have nothing to pitch. There's someone in this room. So if you know someone that has a problem with addiction, I talk to them on my time free. There's someone in this room that hired me in the last 12 months, and we never talked about them hiring me as a coach because I talked to them personally about a family member. That doesn't make me wonderful. That's my responsibility. And I'm going to tell you something. There's a direct correlation with how my business grows based on serving people first. Period. They talk about it all the time. Oh, I'm in it for the people. Really, show me. Show me. But here's what I want you to get, is you got to be in it for you. And the women, I am partial to women. I coach a ton of women. The women, I'm here for you. I'm an advocate for you. My father drowned when I was 5 years old. My mom got $125 a month Social Security and worked 3 jobs. And so 47 years ago, somewhere in there, she quit all 3 of those jobs, burned the boats, and she got into real estate and said, I'm in. Mm-hmm. And so I know for me, women have been my inspiration. Sorry, guys. Because they've got 2 children, they've got 3. You're number 3. I'm an expert. I've been divorced twice. Just kidding. And they're both wonderful human beings. Truly. People know that that's sincere, and that's where they come from. So, what I want to impress upon you, I want to leave you with strategies, tactics, systems, and processes that can grow your business. But I'm going to tell you something. If you lead with the heart and you get out of the transactional part of it. See, no one is joining you because of the opportunity. It's a big fat lie. They're joining and leaving you based on the experience. Because have you seen a real estate model yet put everyone out of business yet? Yes or no? No. That was weak. Okay. I ask a question, you give an answer, it's the interactive part. Have you seen a model put everyone out of business yet? Yes or no? No. Could your people go somewhere right now and get a better deal? Yes or no? Yes. All of them. Stop believing the lie you're telling yourself. Or that you've been told. You guys with me? It's not about the money, man. It is not about the money. It's about the experience you create. See, no one believes what you tell them. Okay? They believe what they experience. My responsibility as a leader is to create an experience of what it's going to be like when they join, before they join. So that's why we coach, train, and lead the competitors' agents better than their current leader is, so that if something happens in the future, see, you're not going to convince someone to join you. Something happens. We've proven it. I've been in the trenches doing it, and we have surveyed 1,000 broker, owner, managers, team leaders twice over the last 10 years. You have one job. It's to be in second place, so when something changes. And you actually tell them that too. Because your number one objection, you want to know what the number one objection is when trying to recruit people to your team? What do you guys think it is? Sales skepticism. Sales skepticism. Your job is to lower their guard. Whoa. Just lower their guard and pull them through the process like Nick has done and Justin's done. So you create an experience of what it's going to be like. See, if anyone's having challenges with negotiating commissions, it's because what you've done is, write this down, you haven't made enough deposits in the business relationship equity account. And you're trying to withdraw money from the bank. You're trying to get appointments maybe with them and you don't. You're overdrawn. You got to make deposits in the business relationship equity account. You're trying to get someone to join at a certain split or fee or do certain things. You haven't built, old school, the trust. Because none of you have ever gone down on the lay down listing presentation, have you? Where you could call every shot you want and then every question. Never done that, right? So did your script win it? No. Did your objection handle win it? No. What won it? Trust. Well, how about if we recruited that way? Right? See, we're saying the right things to the wrong people and the wrong things to the right people. It's understanding where they're at in the journey. So, with that said, what I want to do is I want to support you with the 3 most critical silos. I've got an hour's time frame. Maybe it's 45. I don't know. Matt will just throw stuff at me. If I got to get down, that's okay. It's cool. But what's really important for me to know is I wanted to share that transparency with you. I had great success. Things were wonderful. Just ask me, and it was just a big mask. And you know what? Everyone in here's got their stuff. Everyone. And that's awesome, as long as we acknowledge it. And I'm going to tell you something. If you did nothing else over the next 6 months, but stayed congruent with everything you're doing, but said, I'm going to make a commitment to my development as a human being, you'd come back here and blow the walls off. Because how can we develop someone else if we're not developing ourselves? No one's inspired. Write it down. No one's inspired by your to-do list. Why do you keep telling people to do things? The number one way to get a human being to make a choice, make a change, or move into productivity is self-discovery. But we give them our number, not theirs. Pretty interesting, isn't it? And I'm going to show you how to get where you want to, but you've got to do this, and please write these things down. I want to leave you, the most important thing for me to do is leave you with principles, because if I leave people with principles, then you can plug you into it. Okay? If I leave you with principles, then you can plug yourself into it. See, no one's inspired by your to-do list. Self-discovery is the number one way to get a human being to make a choice, make a change, move to higher productivity. Real leaders never ask why. ever. Why is a word of judgment. Good luck. Now I'm not even going to get, see, the path is this. If I can't get to the truth with you, how can I inspire you to move from where you're at? No, I've got to defend my position, because you want to know what? Social acceptance everywhere, and especially on a team or an office, is more important than my bills. It's proven in human behavior. You're not in the real estate business. You're in the human resource, human development, human attraction, human behavior, human resource, human attraction, human development business. Period. It's number one. And I'm going to paint a little picture for you guys right here on this little roller. Do me a favor, if you guys all would, write down your average commission per transaction. So if you do 200 grand and 200 grand, write down $6,000. Everyone, let me know everyone got that down? You should know that off the top of your head, right? Okay, so here's what I want you to know. Here's what I want you to do. Can you tell me on average, so retained company dollar to me, we all got different numbers when we talk dollars, okay? Retained company dollar is if $100,000 comes in commissions off the top. We retain 50, we give the agent 50, okay? Everyone's with me on that? Okay, 50,000 is retained company dollar. Everyone with me on that? So now what I want you to do is I want you to write down this number for me. Write down on average what you retain from a team member, an agent that works for your team or your company office right now. Write that number down. On an annualized basis. Annualized. I could leave after we do this, because I think it might be rather profound. Everyone's got that number down? So anyone want to share with me their numbers? Jeff? 100K from the agent. Okay, good. Okay, and then your average transaction, 9 grand? Yeah, okay, cool. Awesome. Jeff, on average, if you look at typical attrition, how long does an agent stay with you? 3.5 years at the typical lifespan? Counting the ones that are bad. Everyone hires bad people, by the way. Everyone screws up. And people leave you. So just go. Is 3.5 years a fair number? Yeah. Okay, good. Awesome. So 100 times 3.5. We've got a really smart group here. So all at once, okay, if you would please tell me this. Okay, 1, 2, 3. What's that number? Right. Okay, good. And what's this number? Interesting. So let's see. I don't know what the multiple is of that, but the value of converting one recruit versus the value of one transaction. Let's see, we buy Zillow leads, we do SEO, we've got websites, we've got drip campaigns, we have ISAs, do we do inspections, deals fall out of escrow, we do offer, we do counter offer for 9 grand. Is anyone tracking with me yet? I know that you have a system equally as consistent as that for your recruiting that's worth 350 grand, right? That's where the money is. You're the best marketers in the world. And I don't use superlatives to sound good. I just can't do that. I'm not a good fake. Your branding, the trust, the authority that you have in the marketplace is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Because I saw it firsthand. You want to know? Write this one down. People that weren't on a roster, and I don't like to throw numbers out there, and I'll just keep it general because I could be called out if this wasn't the truth, because people in this room know this. So write down January 1, 2017. Just write a big fat 0. Okay? And then I want you to write down December 31, 2018. Okay? The 12 people that joined in 2017, stay with me, stop me, ask questions. The 12 people that joined in 2017, 7 brand new, 5 experienced, contributed 2.4 million GCI and 290 transactions in 2018. The money's in your people. A retained dollar of 1.2 million retained of people that weren't on the roster January 1 of 2007. Anyone like to have that happen? Yes or no? Only a few of you, huh? Well, let me add a little juice to it for you then. Because then the 16 people in the actual year they joined in 2018 added another 100 transactions in their actual year they joined, okay? And so what happened in 2018 is about 28 people contributed 3.6 million GCI and 400 transactions. And 50% of that was retained. It's all about the people, you guys, period. See, not continuing to recruit people, and certainly retention, we're going to go into that. You know that not continuing to recruit people, I've got one more. Did this kind of open anyone's eyes, yes or no? Yes. Only a couple. I'm sucking it up here, Matt. Pausing on recruiting any day of the week is like telling your agents to stop doing lead follow-up and to stop doing open houses because they're too busy. We've got too many. You've got too many. What's the solution when you get the call? You've had it before. We all have. John, I need to talk to you. You know what that call is. And it's someone that contributes 100 grand in retained company. You're just gonna go out and pick one off like that, right? No, you're not. So there's a couple things. A, I don't want that to happen. B, I'm gonna share with you how we bring people in, because here's the other part too. Everyone that's performing today in your organization is performing based on the way you hired them. Everyone is showing up today based on the way you hired them. I'm going to share with you some things that really work. So I'm going to go down the path of finding my pointer, because I'm really new at these presentations up in front of people. No, I lose it all the time. So I'm going to take you down the path, the three most critical silos for me in my work where I do, because I know there's people like David, Matt, who do what they do in marketing. It's not my expertise, but I know in my silo, it's being in an environment where what the market hears and sees and the experience of you, what that is, and if we need to work on that, and then the action steps that we need to do externally and internally. Okay, so that we have the human resource, because I don't care what all you do or what you have coming at you. If you don't have the right people, you're gonna lose. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at those three silos. In its most simplest of terms, when you take a look at leading an organization, I want you to go back and do this. I want you to just always go back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That's it. It's simple. You're in the human experience business. Okay, so I want food, water, air, shelter, all those types of things. But you want to know what I want? I want to belong. I want to belong. I want acceptance. It's what we wake up and desire every single day. True or false? True or false? Yeah. And I'm going to say it 100 times over and over again, because I was in the trenches in multiple states competing against different models. Okay? It's not the money, it's the experience. Now, here's a really good point that comes up, and so I just want to dialogue with you. The last thing that I'm ever going to say, I'm the guru, I've got it figured out, right? I'm here because I've hung around a long time. People have been very generous, and a few folks in here have said some really nice things and trusted in me and given me an opportunity to ride along with them. I'm not the result they got, they are. I'm going to be really clear on that. Super clear, okay? And the right gentleman and have me come out here, but I want to share with you the things that we focus on that really works. And here's an example of me pointing at the, okay. So straight from your peers, excellent question. And with love, I'm going to say this to you. Do I have permission to challenge you guys, yes or no? Yes. Okay, good. If I'm worried about who people see is productive and they're going to pick my people off, I need to look in the mirror. No one will ever leave me because of what someone offered them. They will leave me because I stop. See, so here's what's happening. And one of the things I want you to know too, your personal Facebook page is a freaking business site. 100%. Think back over the last 10 years. What's the #1 theme television show over the last 10 years? What is it?
Big Bang.
Reality TV. Yes or no? It is. Okay? We pay for voyeurism. Ta-da! Here's what I mean. I pay with my time. I pay with my dollars. You know what I expect? Do your leads probably go, or do agents that are looking at joining you, do you think they go and check the agent's personal Facebook page? Yes or no? Raise your hand if you're a stalker. We have, okay, 200 people in here. We have 120 liars. That's cool. Everyone's a stalker. And I'll tell you what, too. Guess what? What's been created now is if I go to your Facebook page and I don't see things, I'm curious what you're hiding. You've got to understand what the consumer thinks, man. See, I don't want to enter here. I want to enter in the back of your brain. Because we make unconscious decisions. We don't make conscious decisions. The conscious mind thinks, the unconscious mind acts. We have been programmed to believe that we get to look inside people's worlds, period. And so I'm not saying take people to the bathroom with you, but you know something? Has anyone ever joined you and said, if I would have known it was this good, I would have joined earlier? Raise your hand. Sure, because you know what? You haven't done a great job of demonstrating what it's going to be like when they join, before they join, and Facebook is the best place in the world. And so here's what we've done. I say we because Justin's done all the work. Nick, Jeff, others in Maria just left. They've done all the work, but I say we because I'm riding along and I'm watching closely. Okay, sure, you're going to see that we acknowledge people for the proverbial. See, get out of the academics and get into the experiential. Notice this, big shout out for crushing it last weekend. See, productivity isn't, stop KPIing people to death. How's that one working out for you? Really? I'm telling you. No one's inspired by numbers. But wait a minute, there needs to be numbers. Yes, there does. But you want to know what? Write this down, and you need to know this in your leadership. The only thing that bridges the gap from a thought to an action is inspiration, not more information. The only thing, and think about this, how does that relate to you? Thought, I want to sell another house. Take action. Anyone here have problems with their agent taking action consistently? Every one of you do. Because you want to know what we're doing? You didn't hit your number. You didn't. Wow, that inspired me. So now I'm just going to play defense. And I'm going to share with you actually how to hold people accountable in a way that moves them, in a way that inspires them. Because we think we're holding people accountable. Actually, what we're doing is we're condemning them. We think we're holding people accountable, and we're not. We're condemning them. Anyone here? Let's see how transparent everyone wants to be. Anyone here using the word why in their leadership when they ask people a question? Sure, okay. Half the room lying again, it's okay. Just kidding. Why is a word of judgment? What got in the way? Why didn't you get the listing? So what do you think got in the way? Here's the one you need to get, and this is tough. I'm going to tell you your blind spot as a leader. You think the people you lead hear, process, think, and act the same way you do. Stop it. They don't. They do not. Okay? They do not hear, process. You've got to meet them where they're at. It's the same with marketing, right? You're trying to inspire someone to take an action through your marketing, so you meet them where they're at, right? It's the same. I'm just trying to get someone to make a choice, okay? Because the only thing people are going to perform based on is a number they're committed to and own. When I give you a number, you don't own it. I've already set myself up for failure. Now, in this group here, you're action takers. So you can be straight up with one another and not get all, bent out of shape. You're here to get that feedback. I'm going to tell you something. Your people know. Microsoft proved in research they did that people, all their hires, joined an element of their parent. when they went to work for Microsoft? What do we want from our parents? Approval. You guys, human being. And that's why that's why I've got to take care of my person. That's why it does wind out on us. If I don't take care of my person, because you want to know what I have to do? I have to, as a leader, suspend the disbeliefs of people's past. Can you do that? I have to suspend the disbeliefs of people's past. I got to help people. I'm sorry, you're not going to like it, but it's the truth. We think they're lazy. We think they're this. No, they're not. Okay? No goals will ever be hit. You may hit a ceiling. You may be at a ceiling right now because you know what? Why you're stuck? Emotional baggage. If you get underneath your people, see, what we do when we talk to our people is, how are things going? Not that good. So what else is going on? Well, if you hit 30 numbers and if you did this, oh, great, that makes me feel good. That shows me love. Are you guys with me? Are you catching on? That's why you got turnover. Because what are you at, a 90% retention rate right now? Huh? 95%. Went from 80% attrition, he just told you, to 95% since those people came on. He did it, not me. That's not what it's about. But I'm telling you, there's one of your peers, your colleagues, that this crazy, weird kumbaya dude that got sober 10 years ago, it's talking real estate, way away from the transaction. It works. Because 34 of them sold 157 homes last month, too. That's pretty good per person productivity, last time I checked. 34, 157. And when they get together as a group quarterly, they go up to the board and they tell people where they're at versus where they said they would be. And before they leave, they point out, see, your voice is average. You ever heard the Hall of Fame coach that gets fired because their voice got tired in the locker room? Their voices are 10 times more powerful than yours. Every time you want to communicate something, I want you to think this: how can they communicate it? Period. You've got to be a human behavior ninja. I mean, I'm telling you, just go deep, deep. At this point, you guys know how to make money, man. Easy. Where your challenge is, how can I facilitate change for human beings? See, because here's the other part of your recruiting interview, and I'll go over the board. See, what are your expectations of me? Expect you this, and that. Awesome. Here's one promise I'm going to make to you. I can't make you productive. See, a lot of you are sitting in the trap right now with retention because you told them you'll make them productive. Dun, 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 dun. And guess whose fault it is when they're not productive? What are your expectations from me? What can I expect from you? What I want to do, with all due respect, with every other organization out there, respect any leader. But for me, and I'm not saying they're being dishonest, but here's my truth. I'd be lying to you if I told you I'm going to make you productive. But here's the promise I will make. I will facilitate the best condition for you to choose or choose not to be productive. I haven't worked with you, so I don't know how committed you are. Is that interview probably different than the dog and pony everyone else is using? Yeah, so stay with me. Everyone wants to buy, no one wants to be sold. Who's winning that interview? Human behavior. Wow, a truth teller. Everyone's out there dog and pony, man. People want the truth. I'm going to give you another one, too, in the interview process. These are just some important things also when we talk about retention, but also, see, marketing is this. It's differentiation, and the root is being different. So one of the things that we ask in the interview process, too, see, everyone's showing up based on the way I hired them, based on the way I contextualize the relationship, okay? Raise your hand if your company or team has dysfunction. Raise your hand. Awesome. And you're telling people that in the interview, right? That's why I was a champion. Savage recruiter. Savage. Because I said, let me ask you this. Do you have a family? You might want to write this little dialogue down. Do you have a family? I do. Awesome. Does your family have dysfunction? What are they going to do when I ask that question? Laugh. Oh, humor's really good in the process, right? It kind of breaks ice. But it's a truthful question. You do? Awesome. I have a family too, and we've got dysfunction. But probably like you, I'm in it for the long haul with my family. Are you? Are you in the long haul for your family, yes or no? Yes. Good, so I'm sharing with them. I'm connecting at a human level. Well, here's what I want to tell you. We've got a tribe, a village, a community. We have a business. We have dysfunction too. But what we have inside there are 20, 30, 100, 13,000 agents that are in it for the long haul. Is that the type of organization you want to be with? Truth, truth. Stop being the salesperson. Start being the truth teller. It's pretty easy. And it works. Okay, it works really well. Let me come back to this. So and I understand, I hear this one 90% of the time, man, I put my people out there, they come after my people. Awesome, looks like we'll be working together for a long time, because you've got to work on the fact that, you're operating out of scarcity, and good leaders don't operate out of scarcity, because no one will leave you because what someone offers them. Ever. It's because you stopped delivering what on the agreement system, and you didn't continue to create psychological and emotional bonds. Because we already came to an agreement early on, right? That anyone can get a better deal. And no model's putting anyone out of business. So guess what? See, here's what we get. Leadership sucks. You want to know why? Because when things aren't going good, we got to take the mirror that's sitting at waist level and we got to pull it up to eye level every time. Because everything that's going on outside of you is because of you, period, okay? So put it out there. Let them know, because then you want to know what? See, I am playing chess. You guys are looked at as heroes. And I'm going to tell you the other factor too, just throw stuff in as I can at a compacted time. People aren't joining you because they're intimidated by you. You need to start being relatable and start humanizing yourself, period. 100%. I know this. So just know that. Well, all right. So he shows love and recognition for people. Oh, wow. He or she's kicking butt. And now, curious question, because do you think your agents, when they see them posted on your personal, do you think they ever might share that to their Facebook page? Yes or no? Oh, and who are they friends with on Facebook? Oh, I see. See, this is simple stuff. Oh, and what's it tell the other agents that aren't up there yet that they need to do to get up there to get approval from their parent? What's it tell them they need to do? Oh, sell some more real estate. See, people respond more to my symbolism and my actions than they do to what I say. Okay? So we want to have randoms, 4 separate clients. What they did here, we'll go a little bit further and continuing on. This isn't enough. It's just not. Top 1, 2, 3 doesn't work. It's not enough. That's just like textbook, right? Oh, I'm going to send 1 drip email a month and this and that, or 1. No, it's got to be spontaneous, okay? So there's the acknowledgement part of it. Any questions on this stuff? Does this make sense, you guys? Okay. All right, good. So acknowledge your folks. Your sales meeting, I want to take you through your sales meeting really, really quick. I'm just going to go really, really fast. Okay, what I need you to do on your sales meeting, next to recruiting, that's your number one thing. Start with a thank you. Open the sales meeting up. The first thing you want to get into socio-emotional connection. The deeper you make socio-emotional connections with people, the better they interact, and it stimulates empathy. Do you think empathy is important in an environment of a culture? Yes, so I need to do things. I need to be a scientist in this thing. Start with a thank you, and here's what you do. Because you want them to tell everyone how, it's your job to tell me how great it is. I'm numb to that. So let's start the meeting out. First thing, boom, we start on time always. Go around the room and thank one for what they did to help you this last week and what it did for you. And you just shut up and watch. While they're telling each other why they still need to stay with the organization, it's so great, and that, damn it, no one mentioned me. I better help someone this week. I'm playing chess. Then it helps me move into a meeting, because that meeting's so important. You shouldn't sleep for 6 nights thinking about it, because it's the time that you have your opportunity in front of your culture to demonstrate. And culture is great, you guys. Culture is not the words you guys sit in a room and write on a wall. It's how it feels every day. How it feels every day, okay? Then you move into announcements and stuff that's maybe not that exciting. You move into a training piece, and then at the end, you do acknowledgement. Acknowledge what you expect. Here's the thing with recruiting, the big mistake. It's a 95-5 marketing rule, and brilliant people in here, you know this one. See, here's what you guys are doing so well in your marketing. See, all the other real estate agents, they're in the red ocean right here. Whether it's real estate agents or it's recruiting, everyone's just fighting in with the scripts and the dialogues and all that crap. Well, what you've done, yeah, sure, you need to, and have the objection handlers, but here's where you've got to play in the recruiting game. Here's where you guys play in the marketing game, because your folks don't even jump into here. They typically just come to you, and the greatest opportunity is right here. See, I'm going to share with you some statistical data and why Nick's doing what he's doing in the drip email campaigns. A, no one believes what they're told. They believe what they experience, okay? B, I've got to demonstrate what type of leader I am. So know this, 5% of the people, anyone here ever interview someone, thought it went great, and they ghosted you afterward? Raise your hand. Yeah, you went to conversion too fast. Stop closing people. I strip calls to action off 95% of every recruiting piece. Do you want to strike a chord of emotion or trigger friction? See, it used to be it didn't hurt to ask. I got news for you. We studied 4 billion email case study in our mastermind outside the industry. And we pulled calls to action off a certain amount of them. I'm not saying pull them off completely, but I do know in the recruiting game, it's a whole different ballgame, you guys. Okay? Lower their guard and tell them what you're doing. So you're all familiar with the 95-5 rule. So here's what we do. Here's some rules, and you guys can take a screenshot. I'll shoot these over to Matt, and you guys can have them. We talked about the principles. No one believes what they're told. They believe what they experience. Everyone wants to buy or change for something better. No one wants to be sold. Create an experience, what it's going to be like when they join, before they join. Coach, train, lead the competitors, agents better than their current leader. How am I on time, Matt? Good? Okay. That's a good enough answer. So and this can be different. Keep in mind, these are averages. This has been my science to study, not that I'm the scientist, by no means. I don't want to express that to you, but we've gone inside the numbers. You know, listen, I had to deliver 100 P&Ls, and the numbers are important, and budgets, performance, projections when I was an operator. So don't think I'm not about the numbers, okay? But there's a way that you get to the numbers. We've studied this. We've surveyed 1,000 broker owner managers, team leaders twice in the last 10 years. This is the empirical data, okay? It takes 14 contacts on average in some way, shape, or form before a licensed agent will move. So why do you keep fighting human nature and try and convert them on the first interview? That makes a lot of sense, right? But here's why they don't call you back. You're irrelevant because you didn't enter the conversation going in their head. Because someone taught you this one. If they're willing to meet, they're willing to join. That's a lie. Sorry. I heard thousands of people. It's a lie. It's not the truth. Okay? So 14 contacts on average in some way, shape, or form before an experienced agent makes a move. Okay? Now, here's the thing. The critical piece in what Nick was talking to you about, see, when he's making calls, he's increasing his call conversion too, because he's not making cold calls, making warm calls. He's making deposits in the business relationship equity account. He's sending a video that doesn't say, we're the best. Will I show you some conversion stuff we use? Yeah, we're strategic and scientific about it. When we've got a ton of money in the bank, get it, you guys? I mean, this guy's pumped out videos. Stalk him. He's done a really, really good job of it. I mean, he's done it. So So, but here's the thing, 1 out of 3 people you talk to should schedule an appointment. People get upset with this. If you're nailing a 50% no-show cancel ratio, you're winning. You're winning 100%. Very, very typical. You know, I have some people that'll say to me, well, if they don't want to call me, I don't want to hire them. That's all right, you'll call me in 6 months and I ain't hiring no one. I mean, not in all cases, it's just a nature of the beast. They just no-show. And if you can nail that thing at 50%, the best I've ever seen is 60%, and I'll tell you how. It's that little selfie option with the red button that some of us don't like to push prior to the meeting, because what I'm trying to do is every time you view me on a video, and it's why you guys are doing what you're doing, I'm invoking echoic recall. Echoic recall, iconic recall is that which enters the brain through the eyes. Staying power of a second. Echoic recall can also be an earworm like you guys do in the radio. Okay, has a 5 times staying power. So anything that enters the brain through the eyes and the ears, or something that has that jingle, right, has a 500% greater staying power. Do you think video might be important to use? 100%. Because your competition is sending a video text to confirm the appointment right before, right? And your competition's sending a video text right after the appointment. If you have any questions, let me know, right? Wrong. No. See, I don't have to be fancier. I have to be different. Because my crappy performance will always outperform your lack of performance. It's that simple. Okay, so we'll get into 50%, 33% caveat. You meet with should join you. This group in here tilts a little bit higher. Your conversion rates and movement down the continuum of trust is a bit quicker because of the authority that you guys have built in the marketplace. I can go to, here's what I'd say, all of you can go to conversion quicker than anyone else in your marketplace because of just the power of your brands. Does that make sense, you guys? And that's one of the things I assess. I mean, there's some people like Nick could go right to it. Justin could. Jeff, I mean, all you folks that are in here, you guys can go to it a little bit quicker. But you also got to look and see. You'll start to see. That's the neat thing with social media and marketing is it tells you, oh, maybe you need to back off because you're not getting engagement, right? Or maybe there's a message in the marketplace we need to take a look at too. I mean, the greatest thing that we look at mostly is intimidation. And it's tough for you guys to get it though too. Why would they be intimidated? My agents do this. They're intimidated by you, man. That doesn't mean stop selling a bunch of real estate, guys. I'm saying this. The two critical things you need to do, humanize yourself and be relatable. Humanize yourself and be relatable for 2 reasons. A, it comes back to that personal sees. I was not humanized and I was not relatable. And I'm lucky that I didn't have the guts to end it because I wanted to every day when I was where I was at. But I'm going to tell you something. This, from a strategy, tactic, humanization, and relatability, I mean, it will generate so much more business for you. But you want to know what it's, you know why? Because it's going to generate your heart. Because here's what I want to share with you. None of you have willpower, and then you have discipline. You've all been taught that backwards too. Anyone here ever get nervous? Really? And so your words stumble or you clam up or something happens physically. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. But what happens before that? Your heart starts beating 1,000,000 miles an hour, doesn't it? Right. You don't choose with your brain. Everything starts at your heart because the heart has one job. The heart has one. See, when I go, why? Does that agent's heart start beating? Done. The brain's off. Done. Over. Over. Harvard Business Review did research. And so, you know, there's some of you in here and some of you aren't. And that's fine. Do what you want to do. But I'm going to share with you. It's great that the heart's coming through because the heart is a hormone releasing machine. What it does is it sends signals. It releases hormones up to the vagus nerve, to the brain. And if it is afraid, it will send the wrong things. That's what happens. Your brain's getting cut off from the things it needs to act. Does that make sense, you guys? Right. So when I'm going, why, it's over. That person's in fight or flight. It's just the reality of it. Okay? So when you acknowledge people, though, you're connecting with their heart. Right? When you make emotional and psychological bonds, you connect with them. So just keep that in mind as you're holding people accountable. I'm going to show you how to. So let's get into, there we are. So here's what I do, though, too, is I don't believe in the scripted dialogue thing. I do, but I don't. Why create something that sounds good? What I want to do is I want to echo your words back to you. That's marketing in 2019 and beyond. It's called the SMIQ, single most important question. So we survey our audiences. I surveyed 10,000 recruits. How big is commission in there? When it comes to choosing a real estate brokerage or team, what's the single most greatest concern? It's called an SMIQ question, because there's only two things people can accurately tell us: something they don't like or something that happened in the past. You can't tell me anything accurate about the future. You can't. What's your single most greatest frustration or challenge? So about 10,000 real estate agents gave us their words. You see commission right there, real tiny, right? Yeah. So company, broker, agents, business support. So then what we do is this, just so you know how we put things. I don't want to play ready, fire, aim, because if I echo your words back to you in any sort of copywriting, I'm going to enter the back of your brain because I'm using your language. Okay? So we've captured the survey results years ago, then we throw them in a word cloud, and then anytime we write copy, guess whose words we use? Oh, theirs, not our fancy ones. Ta-da. We're echoing back the words they use. So with that said, then we write copy. I'm going to share with you three different ways, and there's a lot of different ways. There's probably ways that you're recruiting that work really, really well for you. Long copy wins. Keep this in mind. 80% of all your videos on Facebook are not listened to. They're watched with the sound off. Well, then why would I use video? Because the human brain cannot discern the difference between a moving head on a cell phone, a laptop, a desktop, or a TV. It's all TV. Period. And if they do watch it, the video, okay, if they consume 3 seconds of your video, brand recall, name recall, and intent to purchase or choose goes up 40% from 3 seconds of consuming your video. Anyone here want to start using more video? Because it's the truth, okay? So what we do, see, what we're able to do here is, and I'll show you guys a couple little stunts just with any of your copy on Facebook. It's different. We call them the social rules of engagement. And as people read, the unconscious brain chooses, so it sees things stop, kind of like throwing up on your, it's like people, whoa, they throw this big paragraph. What's the likelihood someone's going to read one big paragraph? Right, white space pulls people in. So here's a tip I want to give you with your copy, and that, write a 3-line heavy. I shrunk it down so it's not real to scale, okay? That's really my headline. I want to bury my headline in social media after this, because the unconscious brain's first going to see something, say, okay, I'll read. But if I go headline and then something thick afterwards, the unconscious brain says, that's heavy. I'm not going to read it. And we need people reading downhill. We need people reading downhill. But here's, and I'll get this stuff so you guys can see the framework. So here we went authority as a team leader, branch manager who's helped agents sell millions in real estate. Okay? I'm often asked, how did you help this, help that? Because copy is king. King. It's critical. Okay? And so a couple things I want you to see here, and you'll get examples of it. So what we're doing is we go through, and certainly we share with them what we're going to do. One thing I want you to think about, too, in your recruiting, 30 minutes, cup of coffee, talk about the only thing that matters you and your business. 30 minutes, cup of coffee, talk about the only thing that matters you and your business. Because the sales skepticism of an agent in recruiting is sky high. Like through the roof. So I don't like waiting for objections. I handle them in advance. That's just how I play. I mean, why wouldn't I? And why would I worry about going to conversion language when all the statistical data shows me people don't join on the first meeting? Are you guys with me on that? Does that make sense? So that's one example. We're going straight to it. And again, I'm just kind of going quick with these. Now here we lay it out. Okay, we flipped around a little bit. Are you an agent open-minded about growing your business? As a team leader who's helped agents sell millions, how did you? So we take it conversational and wait till you see this worked, like blew up. Okay, so then you tell a story, right? Help a brand new agent sell 72 homes in his first year. Get a story. See, that's what I'm trying to do as I'm trying to create this borrowed belief that we have within our organization. Does this make sense, you guys? I'm telling you something. Don't be lazy with your copy, because every choice people make is based on the words they hear and the words they read. Period. And you guys know it well right here. That's what these guys I know they fret and stew over the words that go into any of the marketing you have, like probably sometimes an hour or two, and not even having the conversation with them. I'll guarantee an hour or two over one or two words. 100%. It's like this one. Some of you got 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 leads. And I'm just, I say it with love. You wake up and you go, hey, we haven't hit the database. Let's throw something together. Here's what I want you to think about. I think this will be profound. Every time you send an email out to your database, it's like walking into the LA Coliseum and saying a speech in front of them. I hope you think about it that way. Every time you post on Facebook, it's like going in the LA Coliseum. You're a leader. And speaking, how much would you sleep if I told you today that in 7 days you're going to go in the Coliseum and your 50,000 of your leads, old leads, are going to be in there, past clients? Would you be a little bit nervous, yes or no? Okay, good for you. Do you think that in depth about every time you send something to your leads right now? Right, okay, because email is the highest ROI if you want to look at it. But what you need to look at in your email is your subject line. And the reason emails don't get delivered more than anything is because the weight of your email. That's the biggest thing they're concerned about. But I digress. So we go in and we share examples. I want to show you the systems and process I use to coach and train my agents to get the results I've shared and bypass. So we do a little demonization. I don't talk about other companies, but I demonize. This is 2019. Okay? And bypass the outdated one-size-fits-all sales tactics everyone is using and feeling frustrated, wondering why their business isn't growing. Like the examples I showed you up here. See how that flows? Does that make sense, you guys? I'm not talking about a certain company, but this is copywriting that'll pull people in. To the extent that, backwards, can you push me backwards, guys, back there? Techie people smarter than me. This is what happened, and there's people that were in this group that watched this happen the minute it posted, because I'm always looking at copy. Appointments, boom, 5, and then, let's see, then someone else jumped in, 4 and 5. My buddy Chris jumped in. He got 3 in the first hour of the video went up. So it was a video with the copy. And then Kevin moved up to 6. And this was in a matter of hours of posting. Okay? On your personal Facebook page. Copy is king. Here's our pal Nick and what he's done. This is a great example. This is probably one of the best piece of copy that, he really works in it, but I think the framing and what he did here is probably one of the best I've seen. We've got another one running around right now that's hitting it really, really well. If you're Wenatchee, you're not allowed to use it. Oh, no one is in Wenatchee, so you're fine. Rip off and deploy. This is beautiful because here's what he's doing. I want you guys, remember this in your videos and your messaging: educate, demonstrate, inform, entertain. Hold back on the entertainment because you're not as funny as you think you are. dangerous, right? But here's what he's done, and it's so beautiful, and it will relate to each and every. I can't share this copy with every crowd. This is probably the only crowd that I'd ever be in front of I could share this copy with, because he's talking about radio. He's talking about, you know what I mean? I mean, high-level stuff, you guys. This is you. So he's educating, but he has a solution. But I've got a solution. And here's an example of some of those solutions. Didn't we weave in some stuff in there? Okay. Lisa, here we go. The things that are important, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's important because the real estate industry is competing with Redfin, Trulia, Open Door, Amazon. Our team's environment for growth is proven. Here's a couple examples. Lisa put 4 deals in escrow, 1.5 million. Ashley, in her first 2 months, did this. If you want to learn how our team can help you grow your business in an environment of abundance, reach out to me directly and say, I'm interested, to set up a 100% confidential interview. Worst case scenario, after our meeting, you will walk away with 2 or 3 valuable tips that will grow your business. Now, let me tell you why these work though too. So if you look at running stuff, this is just my experience. I'm not a Facebook guru, but I just kind of know you need a warm audience. Here's the other big reason why he's running those videos, because he's warming up his audience. You can't just run. You guys can get away with it more than anyone else. But didn't they see through the feed how to get a price reduction, how to, you know, hold an open house? So he's educating. That's content amplification. There's 2 types of messaging you put out. Content amplification. If you're going straight to social media or emailing and recruiting, you're like the person that shows up at the party. Hi, I'm John. I'm a real estate agent. Do you want to buy a house? You know, the way they keep teaching us. You know, I mean, I got news for you guys. There's 3, you know the 3 most important subjects to people? Me, myself, and I, not you. Okay? So what's critical in this, notice the long copy. Because some people, oh, but we want it above the fold. That social rules of engagement is different. Actually, it is the open loop principle in marketing. When they see the see more, it is, because Facebook's an interrupter platform. It's not a seeker platform, okay? So that a lot of people want to uncollapse it. It gives a perception there's greater value in there. A lot of people like to read with motion in the background. So I want you to understand that's why we're doing the long copy too, okay? Does that make sense, you guys? Okay, this works, but you've got to run these parallel. So I've shared with you a couple different ways to recruit. Here's another one. So then what you do, it's what Nick was, and I just wanted to share with you other ones. He's got a page. This is another one, non-branded. That's not his real estate team. This is Unity Home Group, okay? But it's a non-branded page that doesn't feel like friction. Get it? They know that Ryan's a real estate agent, you know, recruiting people, right? They know that. And so what he's doing there is this. Oh, you point to the machine. That's what you do. Did you know that? Stay with me. Keep your real estate sales consistent. Balance your life and business. Make 2019 your best year ever. Sell more homes, spend less time. Increase your business by winning listings. Things are heating up. Being an open-minded and are you asking the right questions when working with? Are you guys catching the vibe? That's how you recruit today. Because everyone else is in their face. You're making deposits in the business relationship equity account. Anyone want to guess how many calls to actions are on those videos that are running around? Anyone want to guess? That would be a 0. A 0, okay? And then look at the views too. He's done really, really well with his views, okay? Here's the other way, and it's going down. You host events, because you guys are a black box. So this is live, actually. The page will go live in a couple days. You host events. You coach, train, lead the competitors' agents. We've got a complete funnel that has a video sales letter, that has a confirmation triggered autoresponder, thank you for registering, that has a 24-hour before. We look forward to seeing you. You're going to leave with immediately deployable action steps. We've got another trigger after the event. Justin's going to give 150 agents in the marketplace the tips on how to sell a little bit more real estate. Do you think we'll get any recruits out of that event? Yes or no? Smoke them. We'll be picking who we want. But he's sharing his secrets. Come on. That's A. But B, how many human beings go back to see what we're doing? Oh, I guess to take that. So the follow-up goes like this. Hey, did you get value? What action steps are you going to take? What aren't you? Would you like to sit down? You want to know why that's an easy conversion? Because it's about micro commitments. They consume the video sales letter. They consume the confirmation video. They're seeing Justin building trust. See, I just want to see the next step. That's all. And video wins. Video is king. And then they get the 24-hour before, and they get the one, thank you for coming, and then they get one more. Hey, it's Justin, and it's 24 hours after the event. I'm getting a ton of questions. The only way I can get back to everyone is recap. So I want to recap the 3 critical points that we covered at the seminar. Number 1, boom. Number 2, now he's educating, right? And by the way, if you want to know how to implement this in your business, give me a call. So that's the other way, doing events. And this I'll go through real quick. It just shows you that, see, this is how serious you need to be about recruiting. Period. There's the numbers at work. Okay? Drip campaigns, calls, contacts, interviews. Okay? Here's the final piece I want to give to you, and this is what makes agents productive. And this is one of the things he's implemented really well. Accountability, okay, is observing or noticing without judgment. Stop talking about goals. A goal's a good idea. A commitment is defined one way and one way only, by the result. You need to slow down the process to speed up the outcome. You need to slow down the process to speed up the action and speed the quality of the action. This young man here, man, we go back. I mean, heart-to-heart conversations. And I can have a straight-up conversation. He's not going to get sad about it. He knows I love him. You know what I mean? I mean, we go back many, many years. Your agents, man, you got to move them to it. So you want to go find somebody real quick. What's your name? Michelle. Michelle, how come you didn't take action? You know you need to do this, you need to do that. So Michelle, what do you think's getting in the way? See, we want to go slow it down, slow it down, slow it down. Self-discovery is the only way they're going to act, but we don't do that well. I'm going to tell you, it's going to help with your retention, and it'll allow people to choose. Did you have a commitment? Did you keep it? What got in the way? In the realm of all that's possible, could you have kept it? Okay? What did you learn about yourself by not keeping the commitment? And we do these in groups, and it's not real estate training. It's specific, measurable, actionable commitments, and they get a partner at the end of each session. I'm giving you guys the down and dirty of something that's really important. You can all call Justin, and he'll explain to you how it works. I'm just kidding. This will move your organization. 3 groups of 10 of these things going at all times. You facilitate, and they get an accountability partner they check with. So then when you check in with them, see, here's the thing. Stop going back to people that aren't performing and saying, you need a bigger why. Really? Why would I do that then too? Let's understand human behavior. Fear and overwhelm are the 2 biggest reasons people don't take action. So let's give them something bigger. Oh, micro commitments. And then you do a foundation with it. Here's what I want to end with is this, is that, I wanted to weave in the stuff, and hopefully, I'm going to tell you something. The person that does the most personal work on the self is going to win next year. And you don't have to come up there and tell people, that that's what you did, or if you want to. I'm just going to promise you. Because if you do that inside work, will that show up in the human beings you lead? Will it show up in your marriage? Sure. Or with your family members and all that stuff? Because the other question I ask people is this, and I challenge my clients, wake up every day and ask yourself if you're being a hypocrite. Holy smokers. I'm attracting people because we care about your family, and we want you to live a holistic life, and we want you to work hard. But my life's a train wreck, and I work 90 hours a week. Please, don't be a hypocrite. I ask myself it every day. Don't be a hypocrite, because I get a privilege. And it's serious, because I don't have amnesia. I remember that day when I thought I was going to die. And I'm going to tell you, here's what's going to happen. Whoops. Didn't go to the last slide? Or did we not get it in? There's got to be one more. Oh, ho, ho, ho. It's let her play. Can they play it back there?
The accountability groups for me The biggest impact of it was coming together as a community, as a tribe, and experiencing change at a different level.
The other thing that I really liked too was the different perspective or awareness in terms of the word accountability and goal. And the commitment of it. It's so much stronger when I say I am accountable for this to myself or to another person. I don't want to break that promise that I've made.
It made me realize after so many years in the business, you still have so much to do.
It really showed me how to kind of set the standard, like raise that standard high. The thing I found with it is it's very black and white. There's no gray area. Either you hit the commitment or you didn't.
It's fun and it's interesting and it makes you think and it makes you go back and just kind of maybe just tweak yourself a little bit here and there so that you make yourself a better person.
Wasn't really sure what accountability meant to me at that time, but from what I thought it meant to me, it's drastically changed over these last few weeks to what it really means to me now.
Before joining the team, I realized now, being on my own for 11 and a half years, that's what I was missing, was the accountability.
I have a lot of life experience because I'm old, but so, you know, if I can impart some of that experience to somebody else and it helps them in a certain situation, well, that's great, because then, you know, it allows people to pay it forward, right?
I've noticed that the people I've developed the relationships with, that we are creating stuff together, whether it's, you know, there's an open house to be sat or something like that.
And the biggest takeaway was that there's always people on the team that I can lean on and like kind of spitball with. Like, how are you dealing with this? How do you go about this? Or how do you overcome this hurdle or this thing?
Like, I'm sure I'll try it, but I don't know if it's going to be any good, right? And then you get in it, and it's like, okay, this is good.
I have a lot more time to spend with my kids and my wife, so it's good. I don't have to be working all the time. I can do what I've been trying to do. Like when I'm at home, be at home. When I'm at work, work it, but work it smarter.
The biggest thing, I think, was realizing that the quality of time that I get with my family or my friends and the team doesn't have to be scheduled. It doesn't have to be the way that I always thought it would be.
The thing that I got from doing it, I would say, was the personal aspect, like how it flowed into my personal life. So, for instance, making commitments with my wife and doing things where, you know, we're making sure that we're spending quality time together.
I feel like I value my work more and I value my personal experiences.
I think that it probably pays tenfold to my relationship with my wife, you know.
I saw that my dogs were happier. I saw that I was happier because I had more energy to give to the team, my business, my family.
Better quality is what it comes down to. And instead of just being home and or just missing them when they go to bed, now I'm sneaking home for dinner and hanging out and playing.
How do you think it makes them feel?
I hope it makes them feel important, because they are. Yeah. Whereas before, I don't think they got it, and that was on me. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The only way that can happen is if you do some real deep work on yourself, because that's not fake. And that's how you sell a ton of real estate, is when you move people's hearts. Thank you.